see that. Now, what two questions you say I can answer?
The D's.
Do you think over-the-counter drugs are addictive
More addictive.
than street drugs? Yes. That's a simple answer. People over.
So what are your questions to me?
My questions to you, Officer Davis, is what is your point of view on gun control?
Gun control is every legal citizen should have one. Legal, meaning by age and by criminal history and by mental state.
Mm-hmm. And by mental state, what do you mean by that?
No one with mental issues should own a firearm.
And what is your opinion on that?
People with mental issues should seek help. That's why you see a lot of mass killings. It's not that the weapon user that does the crime, it's the person behind the weapon. Person that I'm an avid person that I collect guns myself. So, and I think that people that do the right thing should have those rights to own a firearm. But those who are not stable and cannot is having any kind of mental issues, they shouldn't have. And it should be stricter. There should be a lot of stricter restrictions on that. Meaning, I think the federal government should, if they're going to do anything, they should monitor those who have been, sort of say, had any kind of mental health issues, violence, and
anger issues? Such as like anger issues?
Anger issues. Bipolar. There should be there should be a registration for that instead of a registration for a gun.
How do you feel about the possible ban on assault rifles for domestic purchases?
What is considered an assault weapon?
Assault rifles such as M15s and AK-47s, such as that.
AR-15?
Yeah.
That's not considered an assault weapon. You know what AR stands for? Armalite rifle. It's just been twisted. People don't know people don't understand what the real acronym for weapons are. Assault weapons is something that shoots multi-bullets. Is fully automatic. That's an assault that is used in wars. The weapons that you're seeing on the street today, it's hard to get a fully automatic weapon. You have to have a class 4 permit through the federal government. So what you're seeing on the streets is not assault because it's semi-automatic weapons. So they're not used. Those weapons are not used in wars. So what you're seeing is what they call sports weapons, such as your AK-47s and your AR-15s and your M4s that only shoot semi-automatic, meaning you have to pull the trigger every time you shoot it, and not hold it and fire multiple times. That's what you call an assault weapon.
What is your opinion on concealed weapons in common day society?
Everybody that's legally should own one.
And why do you have that opinion?
Because to protect yourself and your property. And why I have that opinion? Because you do have bad people out here, and it's going to come a time where you're going to have to defend yourself. You can't wait on the police to protect you. The average time for a police call 911, it takes at least 5 to 10 minutes before police even get the call. And it takes another 15 to 20 before they even get to the residence. So if you have someone that's trying to intrude into your residence or on your property and threatening to harm you with the weapon, how are you going to defend yourself? You can't use a knife against a gun. You ever heard that old saying, don't never take a knife to a gunfight?
Yes.
You got to have that. And that's why I say you got to have it legally. Concealed. You never know, you out with your family one night. I'm going to give you a scenario. You out with your family one night. You 21 or 22 years old. And you're a law-abiding citizen. And you own a firearm and you have concealed carry, right? Mm-hmm. Someone comes up to you and say, give me all your money. They come with a knife. And you with your family and kids. What you gonna do? What would you do?
In my opinion, I would pull the gun, but I would not shoot
Mhm.
because at the same time, it's not a gun to a gun, so it's an unequal fight.
But not necessarily. A knife can kill you faster than a gun can. Within 7-10 feet, statistics say a person can pull out a knife and stab you right in the chest, hit you twice before you even draw your weapon to get it out of the holster. And that's from 10 feet. So the thing is, you got to be able to be trained and know what's right. Know the laws before you get into any kind of weapons, and know how to use those weapons and train with those weapons as you purchase them. You get what I'm saying? The things that you have to do with those weapons as far as concealed. You got to do the right, go take your class, get your permit, go take the class, and go use that weapon that you're using to protect your family with. Every weapon that you own, that you're gonna purchase, you train on it and know what that weapon's capability is.
What do you think the future will hold on gun control?
I think that the federal government is trying to take weapons out of the hands of American citizens. Because me personally, I think once that happens, they can have control over you. That's our Second Amendment right that was given to us, the right to bear arms. I think that's and the reason for that, because it happened during the Revolutionary War, that the British tried to come in, and who defended the country? The Minutemen was called, right? Mm-hmm. And without the Minutemen, we probably would have been under British rule.
But you have to look at it this way also. The British they were looking for housing and food at all times. Mm-hmm. But the Second Amendment really doesn't apply to that as
mm-hmm.
much as it should. Because back then, firearms weren't really that regular. They were just now getting into new technology. So you have to look at it now. In the new age and the new era, there's new technology. So there should be like a new amendment to be made to make up for that time lapse that has passed.
No, I think we should stay with that. Because without that Second Amendment, anybody can come over here and take over and do whatever they want to you. That Second Amendment, to me, is the most important amendment, and the right, and the first and second, the freedom of speech and the freedom of religion. But the first one and the second is the most important, because I think, as a citizen of the United States of America, our so-called forefathers gave us that right when they signed the amendments. So and then we should stand by that, but only do it in the right, correct way. No one should abuse that. And if they take your rights away, they take your rights, and they do whatever they're gonna do. They're gonna be able to tell you when you get up, what to eat, who can have what, and would you want to live like that? So right now, we have that right, and I know they're trying to push for stricter gun laws, which I totally disagree, but I agree with some of it. Some of the things like a stronger background check. As far as doing a mental evaluation on people, I think they should do mental evaluations. But you got to start with a kid that's been on medication, psychiatric medications and stuff like that, because they shouldn't be able to own firearms, or a criminal shouldn't be able to own firearms. If you commit a violent crime against someone, you should never own a firearm. But a person like myself has pretty much been a law-abiding citizen, should be able to have that right to own a firearm.
For their own protection?
For the protection and for sport. I do a lot of sport shooting. I hunt. I'm not an avid hunter, but I go out, and my uncle will be like, "You want to go hunt?" I say, "Sure." I might not kill anything, but it's just the bonding and the sport of it, that I can go. I got that freedom to do that, because in other countries, like Europe, you can't own a firearm. You don't have that freedom. America is very unique. You can come over here and live, and you become an American citizen. You have the same rights as an American person that was born here, if you're coming from another foreign country. And that's one thing that's real unique about this country. But if you go to other countries, you don't have the rights. As an American citizen going to a foreign country, you got to obey by their laws. Mm-hmm. And the thing that I witnessed going overseas and witnessing overseas, that we have a lot more freedom than a lot of other countries. I lived in Europe for 5 years, and I didn't see people walk around with guns or nothing like that. And what really opened my eyes is when I lived in Texas, and I used to travel back from Texas to California, and I'll stop in Arizona because I used to visit Arizona a lot. Arizona is one of those states where you can carry it open. And I thought that was so unique that you can walk around like it's the Western time. You can have your guns on your side and nobody says nothing. The police don't stop you. But let me walk down the street sometime in my neighborhood and I'm strapped with an AR-15. And I am a police. I'm gonna get stopped and they're gonna challenge me. But you know, I'm up for the task because I own it, I bought it, and I have the papers for it. Mm-hmm. But that's one of the things that's so unique about America, that you have that right, but also know the laws, what the laws stand for. Not only state, but you got to worry about municipalities, what the city ordinances is what they call. Look at your city ordinance. What the city ordinance say. You can't fire a firearm within the city limits of Mecklenburg County and within the city of Charlotte. But if you go outside the county and the city is totally different places. You can do that in the county, but you may not do that in the city. You got to also know the laws of what you can and can't do with that weapon.
Would you like to share any encounters that you have had with any gun incidents?
I have plenty of encounters with guns, and I'm a police, and then served in the service. But it's just that it comes just sporadically. It don't come all at once. You know, you'll get one. When I work the streets, you'll get them. So I probably confiscated like probably 20 guns in my whole police career, my whole 14 years of being a law enforcement officer. Some was legit, some wasn't. I came across a lot of stolen firearms. The ones that and I went on some calls where the person wanted to give the firearms because they felt like they would do some harm to themselves or somebody else. So they'll say, here we go, take this away from them. So I'll do that. And I turn them in, they'll be destroyed or given to the person get their sanity papers, they can come back and get them. But 9 times out of 10 they won't. They'll leave them there and they'll go seek help for their angry issues. There's a lot of incidents I don't ran up on. Have I ever been shot at? Yes. Have I ever been shot? Yes. Overseas. But that was during wartime. So yes, I have did a lot of shooting. I've seen a lot. I don't seen people dead because of gunshot, you know, being robbed and violent crimes. It just comes with the territory. It comes with the job. You're gonna see things like that, and you're gonna deal with it. That's it.
You?
Solved my question.
My turn.
Oh. That's your last name, Johnson? You go with that crazy boy, Steve?